Hello everyone, welcome back to Terra Invicta, where last time we kind of started World War III and then tried to back out of it. We invaded Norway, which was being protected by Russia, and so the EU and America went towards Russia. It was going absolutely fine until the Russians nuked all of my European armies, as well as Moscow. And then we defeated a big invasion of China, moving through Thailand, through the mainland there. That was all good. Retreated them, did an invasion of Norway, which the Russians nuked. Then the reinforcements came there, and the Russians nuked Norway again. Eventually we managed to capture Norway, but we are rather down on armies. And most of kind of northeastern Europe here is just a giant radioactive pile. I think Russia's used about 10% of its nuclear arsenal on us at this point, and we use some nukes as well just to get some revenge. So yeah, but we did completely kick the Protectorate off of Earth itself, off of Earth's low orbit even. Now the Protectorate does still have bases. They've got some bases on Luna. They've also got a base in the Earth-Luna L4 point over here, with their remaining fleet, so we may go investigate those. And again, we're targeting the Protectorate because they've kind of said they're going to build up space stations to stop anyone attacking the aliens. Our whole thing is, let's attack the aliens. But otherwise, we're pushing forward, hopefully going to get some better engine tech soon, because right now we're really limited on where we can move about in the galaxy. To make a ship with decent delta V to move to other planets means it's got such low thrust that it's not really combat capable, and vice versa. A ship with decent combat capability only has about enough delta V to get from Earth to the moon. The other major thing we did last time was seize control of India. So anyway, let's jump into it. I'm going to start off by pulling out of alliances with servant-held lands. Okay, so debris is passing near one of our stations. I'm just going to use our laser-based weaponry to take it out. Okay, and I'm going to sabotage the servant's attempts to get diplomatic contact with the aliens. Oh nice, we've turned one of the servants to our cause. This time I'm going to get them to not automatically fail anything. I just want to use them for information gathering purposes. Okay, servants have taken control of Uruguay. Nice. Thanks to the information our mole has given us, we knew the location of one of the aliens, and we managed to kill him. It's another executed alien. Okay, this may have been a different breed of alien. This is a salamander. Some kind of alien shock trooper, incredibly strong, but able to wield firearms. Okay, now this is interesting. Alien fleet is on its way towards Earth Shield, Victor 72. It's a very substantially large fleet, much larger than anything we've seen before. I think the aliens just got annoyed that we shot one of theirs. Okay, pulling India out of the war with the United States. Okay, we're definitely annoyed the aliens. They're sending another fleet towards Romeo 44, which is our tiny fleet in orbit of Red Planet Guard. Red Planet Guard, yeah, has a tiny little fleet here defending it, but it's something better than we had before. It's arriving at the end of the month. Aliens very much unhappy that we just shot one of theirs. Okay, and unfortunately with our peace with Russia, they've been now free to attack Mongolia and have captured it. Yay, the Academy's completed extended space survival. They are now pushing electrostatic plasma confinement. Pulling India out of the war with Canada. Okay, so here we have a pretty decent battle on our hand. 3 enemy warships, only time we've ever seen them group their warships together against what's left of our fleet. Pretty even on the damage counts, but those are very, very vague. They have loads of Delta V to play with compared to what we have. Yeah, so don't have that many missile-based ships left in this fleet. Most have been prioritized early on by enemies. Those I do I'm splitting their fire between various enemy positions. Since the missiles seem to work really well, everything else is gunship based. We'll just have to see how this goes. Missiles are launching. Enemy counter missiles are already out. Our railguns are beginning to fire in counter battery mode. Certain ships I think are being targeted to go on evasive courses. Yeah, they're not evasive enough for the alien missiles. Even one ship hit our battleship, their missiles are goddamn deadly. It's okay, we've got our own missiles out. That's where our first missiles are going to hit. Enemy ship, codename Brave Wind. Hit. They're tanking it. Good hit there. Oh, very good hit. The ship's taking some severe damage. Still have plenty of missiles coming in. These are only the longer range missiles that are hitting. Oh, Valley Wind is also being hit now. I think the Brave Wind's engines might be out. Yep, one enemy ship destroyed. They're doing their best to evade our missiles, but they are taking hits. So whether they can outpace the missiles at this point, which is a possibility. I'm getting some railgun hits in as well, which is pretty decent. That was a decent hit as well. I think these missiles have expended all their Delta V. Maybe not, one just lit up again. Oh, it's got to start hurting them. Okay, unfortunately, the Holy Victory did evade my fleet, the initial barrage. I'm ordering my two Ismaili classes to disengage. They've got nothing left. We have some ships to go. Start chasing down their things. Oh, but they're going to start really hurting us here. Oh, just dodged their shots there. So I am dodging their shots, they're dodging my shots. Yeah, so here we're reaching the same problem we did in our first battle with the aliens. We just can't hit them with railguns. Which which means they can take all the time in the world to pick us off. Okay, so in the end the battle disengaged. We're left with 2 ships. They're left with 2 ships. We took a lot more casualties than them. I think we learned some things there though. Railguns really just still aren't working against the aliens. I think I'm going to double down on lasers, because lasers should at least be able to hit them, even when they're maneuvering. And missiles are good. Missiles work, so I need to push more missiles out there. Push for lasers. So I think lasers and missiles are going to work well against aliens. The railguns work fine against other human ships, but they just can't compete with the ultra-maneuverable alien ships. Hello everyone, this is Editing Jeebus here, and I've got some apologies to make at this point. I messed up with the recording at this point. I don't know how, but my OBS setting for the microphone input was turned down to minimum, so it didn't record anything for the rest of this session. So instead what I'm going to be doing is just covering the highlights as normal, but I'll be giving this voiceover here as I'm going and editing, so probably different tenses, not quite as natural as it would normally be. Anyway, let me know what you think about this, if you prefer it or not. Anyway then, first interesting thing that crops up is right here we kill yet another one of the servants. So we managed to get the world project of gas core fission systems at this point. I then opted to go for the advanced atomic manipulation. This gives rise to a variety of different useful things, but notably it seems to be the basics we need to get fusion systems online, which I think will really help us get to the aliens, start competing in terms of Delta V. Then finish PSYOPs research and then move on to light green laser cannon. After some debate I picked light green laser cannon just because we really need to be able to hit the enemy ships. The alien ships are so hard to dodge, railguns just aren't cutting it anymore. Light green laser cannons seem like a reasonable version to put in, can put them on most ships. Going to be designing a new version once these are online. Then continue to pull India out of its wars, this time with Guatemala.
Target is down.
And another servant goes down. And finally pull India out of the last of its wars. And here the aliens start opening up another new front. Victor 75 starts orbiting my base at 69 Hesfera and then starts bombarding it from orbit. Really not much I can do about that. At the same time that bombardment is going on, the alien fleet also then attacks Red Planet Guard once again. This time I do have a single ship out there, the Lancelot, to defend it, and so I engage combat, do my best. So in Terra Invicta, your ships start off moving at the beginning of battle, just meant to be that initial closing velocity. I've tried here to cancel that out, doing a quick U-turn so that my ship stays closer to defense platforms so they can mutually support each other, or more the defense platform can support the ship. Since this is an Ismaili class, it has no defensive stations at all. Otherwise I'm just pumping out my missiles in the hope that I can take down the enemy ship. And here I'm just doing my best to go as evasive as possible, but my ship just doesn't have the acceleration to outcompete these alien missiles, and one shot kill. I don't know if this is something just the aliens' weapons do or if it's what all weapons do, but their missiles continue past my ship and start heading towards my station. The station's lasers do engage, but at the same time I flip back over here to look at the alien ship just as these missiles are coming in. At almost the exact same time, my defense platform does get taken out by the alien missiles, so this one ends in a draw, and it does say there was no winner to this, so no one gets to collect resources, but I'd say this is a pretty good victory from my point of view. I lost one defense platform which are really cheap to rebuild, one ship which is pretty cheap, and I took out a much more powerful alien ship, so definitely counting that as a win. And then no doubt because of the sheer number of combats we've been having in low Earth orbit, Kessler syndrome's kicked in, so we've got huge amount of orbital debris in low Earth orbit, so low Earth orbit is now a hazardous area. It's going to have more negative events there, and I think this also means that modules there get more expensive as we have to shield things. And yet another servant dead. At this point I'm just not letting them level up their councillors, though I'm just killing them off at low level, keeping them weak. The aliens meanwhile continue to bombard Hesphera and eventually just wipe out the base entirely. I was trying to rebuild stuff faster than they can destroy it, but no dice, they wiped it out. But I can just refound the outpost here, refounding it as a settlement to give it some proper defences. But that is going to take a very long time to get that new one out there.
Problem solved. Permanently.
So we finish executive privilege. As soon as I get enough fuel for it, I do put another Ismaili class into production, just in case the aliens try and have another go at Red Planet Guard. And complete vapor core fission systems, and so move on to graphene batteries, just since I'm wanting to use lasers, want a bit of a better power storage, since lasers are going to eat through power really quickly. I get the option to do an anti-satellite test with only annoying South Korea, which is a protectorate state, so I went ahead and did that because screw the protectorate. And a bit more of an issue, Victor 69 now starts bombarding the Olympus Mons base on Mars, i.e. my most important refinery. And they unfortunately wipe it out completely, so I'm forced to send this back as a new shipment, not taking as long to get there, it's only sort of 200 days, but still going to set a lot of things back. Thankfully, one of my other asteroid belt mines, the Linda mine, does come online here to help pick up some of the slack and give us a nice big input of water. And here we finally complete the exotic materials research project and identify that, yeah, it's a weird material that we've not seen before that seems to be able to change between being a cation and an anion, so it can meld itself into almost any material that we have here on Earth, and it universally enhances those materials, making them better conductors, making them stronger, tougher. With the downside being we still have no idea how to make this stuff. We can extract it from alien ships and captured alien facilities, but we are reliant on what we can acquire. So we've converted what we took from the destroyed alien ships into some little purple points, and we'll be able to do some more research going forwards to build alien-inspired heat sinks, armour, so on, that are far beyond what we can domestically produce. And we then opt to go for rapid response teams. This is a project we stole from, I believe, the Institute. Should be a quite quick research, and importantly it helps protect us against alien terror missions. Unfortunately the aliens turn their attention onto Thule base. They just seem to be going through all of my outer system mining facilities, taking them out. I've clearly annoyed them too much in the past, have done a fair bit against them. The problem is I just can't really have defensive fleets out everywhere.
Target destroyed.
And I do then get a chance to reduce orbital debris in low Earth orbit using our lasers, so definitely going to do that. Clears low Earth orbit a bit and also improves public perception of us. And that is when the bad stuff started to happen. Victor 76 arrived in orbit, moderately large ship, but that was then followed by Victor 63. Victor 63 is a collection of 5 ships in a massive fleet, over 1,000 fleet strength, all entering at the same time, kind of making myself immediately shit myself. And then very quickly things go from bad to worse. So these ships are not just there to raid our space assets. The first warship lands on Earth and begins deploying armies. Only silver lining, as those are unloaded, we do complete the green light laser batteries, start work on gas core fission reactors. So the first 2 ships both land in Morocco, and the third one lands in Myanmar, and all of them begin to unload armies. While all that's happening, the set of probes I launched towards Jupiter's moons arrive. Bunch of pretty dud sites, but I do see some really nice sites on Callisto and Ganymede, and so send off settlements to try and start mining there. The downside being the aliens already have a presence in the Saturn ring system. We then do complete the rapid response teams, probably a good thing to happen with large numbers of aliens now on the planet. And decide now is a good time just to kick it off with the Hydra interrogation. Need some answers out of these aliens because things are really heating up. And unfortunately the aliens, having already got a presence around Callisto, just immediately start bombarding it and take out my would-be station there. If the aliens pouring into the planet wasn't enough, Duncan Doo is then assassinated. One of our best, longest living councillors is dead by the Protectorate's hands. So I pick up Naila Ranu as her replacement. Government trait just like Duncan Doo had, but this one's an astronaut, has little bonuses to space research, and so hopefully it'll be a good replacement, but it's going to take a lot of time to get to Duncan Doo's level. And despite my best efforts with Rachi, I couldn't manage to tackle a single one of the alien ships. All had really bad chances for the assault, and so the alien army successfully deploy. And they are big, and there is a lot of them. We do manage to get graphene batteries project done there, start work on the vortex drive, which seems like a much more efficient version of what we've got going and fits with our new gas cells that we're looking at moving on to. The Academy then finish electrostatic plasma confinement and move on to advanced hydrogen containment, so they are moving towards proper fusion drives there as well. Victor 69 continues its little tour. It now tries to bombard my Bonnier mine. On Earth, though, the alien armies move quickly, and the territories they landed in, they pretty much instantly capture, founding their own alien administration as a new faction here on Earth, completely under the control of the aliens, and backed up by armies that are just far stronger than anything that we have left after all of the various nukings in previous episodes. I don't see how I can fight the aliens on the ground, so instead I turn to the next thing I can do, begin really building public support in these areas and trying to push up resistance, trying to start a revolution, which the prompt did say could remove the aliens from control here. Regular coups and regular crackdowns can't, but either actual invasion or an uprising can force them out. We do then complete gas core fission system project, and I decide to move over onto medium green lasers. Now, while the aliens seem content to sit where they are for now, unfortunately they are allied to the Servants, and that means that the Chinese armies are free to move onto Taiwan, so I quickly have to go over onto a defensive footing here. I pump a bunch of direct investments into American Navy to buy another navy outright, and then move all of the divisions I can to Taiwan. Now, while I'm scrambling to move troops to the Indian border to counterattack China, the aliens do wake up. Thankfully their target is not me but Cambodia, but they just rapidly overrun Cambodia. Then, as the Chinese army arrives in Taiwan, I get India to declare war on China. I've already moved armies up to the border so they can immediately start to invade. Even with the American divisions I shipped over and a European division, I just don't have the strength to face down all 8 Chinese divisions coming through. I start to lose European divisions, and so I decide that there's only one thing I can do to save this. All the Chinese armies are in one spot, so I get America to nuke Taiwan. All 8 Chinese armies are instantly wiped out, so at least the American armies are saved during all of that. Then the alien armies turn around and begin moving straight towards my armies. Really nothing I can do other than try and pull them out, rescue what I can. The alien armies are just far too strong here. Unfortunately, Taiwan doesn't have a navy, so I'm unable to withdraw its army, and it gets pretty much instantly destroyed as the aliens turn up. And then to add salt to injury, I can't nuke the alien army. I think they're protected by some anti-nuking fancy technology, so unfortunately I can't just wipe them out here with nukes, which would have been fantastic. So I can't really do anything but sit and watch as the alien administration adds all of Taiwan into their growing mega country that they're just blobbing everything into. Now there is a bit of good news, although some of the Chinese armies respawned, they really don't have much, so the Indian armies do start to occupy parts of China, but with the downside that the aliens are now turning around and heading towards India. We do then manage to finish the vortex drive, and I begin researching an improved gas core fission system, and then decide as the last thing to do, time to upgrade, design a brand new ship for the modern conflicts we're finding ourselves in. And this is what we end up with, our third generation of starship, this one fueled by gas fission systems. Love to have fusion drives, we don't yet. It is armed with a main laser cannon, the rocket batteries that seem to have been doing good work, with a load of magazines so that one rocket site can put out huge amounts of missiles, and also laser point defense to help protect the ship against the missiles that have been killing us up till now. I've ended up going for a frigate class, so not too big, not too small, somewhere in the middle. I'm feeling big ships just aren't really working right now because they can generally still be one-shot by the aliens. So I chuck a pair of those into production. They're going to take quite a while, and decide to leave that there. So everything's got a bit more precarious than before. In space, the aliens are now very much targeting us, hunting us down where they can. Some of our bases, which do have point defenses, have been holding out. We have sort of been trading fairly for aliens in ship-on-ship battles. Hopefully that will improve this new generation of ships coming out, we'll just have to see. But on the ground things are looking pretty grim. We have destroyed the Chinese army, but the aliens are near untouchable. We just don't have an army to defeat them. Maybe if we had the intact American army pre-getting nuked over in Russia, maybe we could face them. Right now I really don't fancy our odds, so I'm just holding out for hope that we're going to manage to trigger a popular uprising in order to take down the alien administration. So I hope you join me for that one. Sorry once again for the weird audio this time round, that I've had to record all of this, or 2/3 of this, after the fact. I am very much keeping an eye on that. I really don't want to need to do all of that again. Re-recording all of this has taken quite some time, hence why this video has been delayed by a week. But hopefully things will be smooth going on forward. If you did enjoy this and you're looking forward to the next one, please do like, comment, subscribe, all really does help. And otherwise I hope to catch you in the next video. Until then, remember to be kind to yourself and everyone else. Cheers!